Hello, hello, hello. Happy, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope all is well. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. I hope everyone had a blessed day. Looks like it's getting ready to rain here. Um, all things in this video are alleged. They are my opinions. They are used for entertainment purposes only. Tonight we will be having a little chitty chat in regards to sisters. Now let's get into this. Let's get into it. The show starts with, it states that it's 2 weeks later, and it starts with Jordan is sitting on his couch looking like a bum, drinking beer, eating pizza, just depressed. All of this is based off of, Andy breaking up with him the last episode. So he ends up getting a call from his sister Penelope, which, evidently Penelope and Andy both cuckoo or crazy or whatever the case may be, because Penelope and Andy, they were not supposed to have told Jordan that she was alive. And of course, we know Andy messed that up. But I don't know what happened in these 2 weeks that they haven't been on, or the 2 weeks that they're saying transpired from the last time we watched this episode. But in that 2 weeks, Penelope decided to call him, which she wasn't, I don't know. I don't understand what kind of witness protection plan they got going on, but she wasn't supposed to call him if you're in a real witness protection, but we know it is what it is. But anyway, she calls him, and me sitting here looking and thinking about he's a horrible actor, but that's how I feel. Somebody could think he's a great actor. I do not. But anyway, Jordan ended up asking Penelope about the baby, and she tells him that, she no longer was pregnant, and they had a couple of conversations about it. Gary gets brought up, and Penelope is like, I don't want this conversation to be about him. She wanted to call and check on her brother. She didn't want the conversation to be about Gary, but somehow the conversation always ends up back on Gary. Anyway, Jordan apologized to her for her miscarriage. And he tells her that he feels like everyone he loved is gone and have left him. Because then he explains to Penelope, because she's confused, because she's like, hold up, where's Andy? He explains to her that Andy dumped him. And then he's talking about how she broke his heart. And she was telling him that, something had to have happened for Andy to do that. So he needs to fight for her. And he's like, no, she broke my heart. I'm through with her. And she was like, she believed in him and Andy. So she was telling him for her to do that, because Andy is a good woman, for her to do that, something had to happen. And he was like, well, it's good riddance. In my mind, that's what he said in so many words, because he's like, we wouldn't have had all these issues had it not been for Gary and Andy in our lives. So she's still sitting there telling him about fighting for her, let her know how you feel, fight for her, fight for her, fight for her. I got tired of the scene. But anywho, evidently whoever that is over there with her let her know she had to get up off the phone, and she ended a call with him, told him, I guess she'll talk to him soon. Whatever. Next scene we go to, we see Maurice is at how they're at the baby shower. Saw him and Pam, and it was just showing that they were getting started, getting situated for the baby shower. And of course, while Pam and Maurice are decorating, she's putting up roots to riches, baby. She promoting roots to riches if she don't do nothing else. I don't even know if she promoted Karen Salon as much as she's promoting roots to riches. Baby, she promoting her roots to riches. I guess I can't be mad at Pam. Get your money, girl. Next scene we see is where Rich and Tony go to see Jordan, and they're knocking on the door, trying to beat on the door. He's not letting them in. So they're outside screaming and yelling, keeping a noise, talking about they're going to wake up the neighbors. And he's ignoring them. Of course, they keep on till he actually opens the door. Not opens the door. He unlocks the door, texts them and tell them, well, the door is unlocked. They walk in. First thing they go is, oh, it's did she take the tub with her, or did she take the shower with her when she left? Because evidently Jordan has been, because it's been 2 weeks, so evidently he's been in his house, not bathing, not doing nothing but eating cereal and drinking beer and pizza and just sitting up there getting the funk, just getting funky, because that's what it look like they doing, because they saying he ain't smelling too good up in there. And they were talking to him about his candidacy that he was running for, and he's stating that he don't even know if he wants to do it anymore. So they were telling him, oh, so you just gonna throw away everything over Andy? Over Andy? Like, they're like, she's not even worth it. So they end up talking about the fact that today is the baby shower. Of course, Rich and Tony are going to the baby shower because of Sabrina and Danny. So Jordan told them, don't let Andy know that y'all saw me. That was his request to them before they left. Back at the bank, we see Sabrina, and I can't remember the dude name that did her interview last week. What was it? Darian? I don't know. The guy that was there last week doing the interview that Rich got jealous over. He comes by the bank to show Sabrina the article of how he did the interview before it get published. She tells them that she really loves it, and she loves what he had to say about her, because he didn't input a lot of the stuff that got said, because she said a lot of personal stuff when it came to her wanting a child, and that she was taking fertility shots and stuff. So he didn't include that. He also didn't include the situation that happened at the bank. And he told her that he tries to be as unbiased as possible. And they get to conversating, and he asked her, did she find a donor, or did her boyfriend come to his senses? And she was like, no, she hadn't found a donor, and Rich hasn't come to his senses. But I don't see what sense Rich is going to come to, because Rich has told her from day one he didn't want any kids. He told her from day one. So I really don't understand why Sabrina's still with him. I don't know if she actually thinks she's going to change this man's mind, because he told you off real he didn't want any kids. Then he has what's this guy name? The guy asks her, or he states to her, that he wouldn't mind if the baby was his. And he also told her that he donated sperm in college. He thinks they would make a great baby. And she's just like, huh? Because she's stunned. Because if we be honest, she met this man once last week when they did the interview. And the next time she meets him, he's talking about, do you want my sperm? Do you want my sperm? Really? Really? I don't understand that. And even more so that I don't understand is the fact that Sabrina is actually considering it. And she goes on to ask about a family history of illness. She asks, was there any weirdnesses? He said, only if you consider that he's offering his sperm to someone he doesn't know. And if that's the case, she weird too, because she's sitting here agreeing to it. But I guess it's the same thing as if she goes to the sperm bank, because she don't know nobody in there either. So, but uh, I felt like she was gonna end up being he was gonna end up being the baby daddy, but I didn't think it was gonna go in this form. I thought she was gonna dump a boy and they was gonna do something. And this because Sabrina actually told the guy, she said, you're not really gonna be involved in his life. And he was like, it depends on whether or not you let me, because he already got a kid, so he giving you his sperm and he know who you are. Of course he's gonna try to be involved, because the only reason he even volunteering his sperm to you is because he like you. He ain't just volunteering it just for the hell of it. He sees something about you he likes. Sabrina act like she's slow. She really do. Next scene that we go to, we see Zach and Fatima, and they're getting ready to go to the baby shower. Of course, Fatima doesn't want to go, and Zach said, "Oh well, Fatima didn't want to go because the things aren't the way that she thought they would be at this point in time in her life. She never thought she'd be with somebody that had two, no, one, and now two kids. I guess you can count it three on the way, because Karen is having twins, even though both of them don't belong to Zach. She is having twins, so I guess that can be considered three kids. So she never expected that to be her future. But Zach also states that he never thought he'd be a member of the baby daddy group. That's what he said. He knew he was gonna be a member of the baby daddy group. And Fatima feels like she'll be looking crazy. And I was pleasantly surprised that Karen actually invited Fatima to the baby shower. So that was big of her. I'm glad she is maturing or trying to mature so they can raise all these kids as best they can. Because as long as Sabrina and Fatima is with Zach, she will be around the children. She will. There's not a whole heck of a lot Karen can do about that, because it seems like ever since Aaron gave her a piece of his mind, she done straightened up. It like something done clicked in her head after he went off on her. But I think it's a good thing. And Zach asked Fatima, has she meditated, and she told him she had, and he was like, good, because we need all the positive vibes we can get today. The next thing we will go to where is Andy, Miss Marie, and Hayden. They are sitting in the office, and Marie is fussing because she's talking about taking her business elsewhere to another law firm, because she needs to know what they are doing to keep her soon to be ex-husband from getting her money, because she want to get that prenup enforced as soon as possible. So Hayden gives her an expense report, and he tells her that on the expense report, it shows where he got money going to an offshore account that doesn't have her name on it, has the assistant's name on it. And he shows her how, is a lot of money that's going there. And she's like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but I don't need what you think. I need concrete proof. Because if he's banging his assistant, I need concrete proof so that she can make sure he doesn't get anything. Because so she can, make sure she kicks him out with what he came in with. Andy is sitting there looking like a lost puppy, because basically she's still zoned out in her feelings because of the fact that she screwed up running her mouth, and Gary found out about Penelope being alive and the FBI and all that. So she's stuck over there thinking about the fact that she had to dump little dorky Jordan to try to protect him from Gary. So Miss Maria is like, she telling Andy, I know you're the better attorney. She's the better attorney than Hayden, but she told Hayden, no offense. And he was like, so I'm taken. Of course you were offended. You thought that little pencil that you given Miss Marie gonna make you a better attorney. If you're not I don't see how Andy is a better attorney, because Andy don't give me smart attorney in this series. She just don't. She gives me a dumb. I don't know why Andy give me dumb in this show. Just give me dumb, 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 dumb. But maybe she'll get there. I don't know. Anyway, Andy tells her she got a lot on her mind. She get up to leave. Then Hayden gets up to leave so he could try to go find her concrete proof. And she was like, oh, hold on, big boy. Hold on. Well, little boy, little pencil. We need to go to your office. So Miss Marie trying to get her little freak on in office. While Hayden's in there talking about, you'll be surprised at what, men will do. He was speaking of himself because he's sitting there boning the client because he's trying to make partner. And then the lady sitting here telling you, she don't even think you that good of an attorney. She offended you to your face, but you went over there and you put your little crusty lips right on that old poodle. But hey, do what you do. The next scene we go to, we see Karen and her mom. And her mom is sitting there taking a bunch of pictures of her as they get ready for the baby shower. She tells Karen that everybody's going to be fawning all over her. I don't think everybody's going to be fawning all over her. I think they're going to be fawning over the kids. But as far as over Karen, she says she wants a drama-free baby shower, and you can't be mad at her for that, because up until a few weeks ago, she done had a very stressful pregnancy, but most of that stress came from herself. She brought a lot of that stuff on herself, if we being honest. If we being 100% honest, she brought a lot of stress on herself. But they just had a few conversations about what to expect at the baby shower and stuff. And she told her mom she was bringing her belly and her appetite. So her and her basketball went out the door with the mama. So back at the baby shower, where they're waiting on Karen to get there, Sabrina announced that, we on CP time, we got food. So, everybody trying to eat, drink, and be merry and wait on Karen to get there. So we see where Tony and Rich Zach go over and he speak to Tony and Rich. And they ask him, of course, Zach asks who they're with. They tell him who they're with. And they ask him for advice. And Zach told him to run. He said, run. And he was like, however, he did tell them to expect the unexpected, because he's been around these ladies a long time. They've been through the good, the bad, and the ugly that him and Karen went through. And of course, they are still there. You see where Fatima and Danny are having a conversation, and Danny tells her that she understands that it's hard for her to be there. And, Danny is one of them people where she tried to make a joke out of everything. So she was like, I understand, girl, because you never know what might happen around here. Shoot, it might be a third baby up in here. And Karen shows up, and we see her. She's crying and all emotional and she's having a little speech telling everybody she wants to have a safe, happy, and healthy babies. I hope she has them. I hope she's just gonna have these babies. I'm tired of being pregnant. So we finally see, and this is the crazy part. Andy finally shows up to the shower, right? To the baby shower. Mind you, this baby shower is in her house. How you late to a baby shower in your house? That makes sense. You just got all these, I understand these your friends. You got a whole bunch of people running around your house and you ain't even there. What they do that? Okay, so Annie shows up. Danny asks her if she's a spy because they hadn't seen her for a while. And Rich and Tony are acting funny. Now I understand y'all feeling away because of Jordan. But my thing with them is you're not gonna ignore and not speak to me in my house. This this my house. You in my house. You ain't got to have a whole conversation with me, but you gonna open your mouth and speak to me in my house. Or you could get your butt out. Rich, you don't need to be there anyway because you and Sabrina ain't gonna be together long. And hey, if we being honest, Tony ain't gonna be with Danny too much longer either. But what y'all not gonna do is sit up in my house when I walk in and act like you too good to speak to me in my house. What? What? Child, please. Child, please. Y'all better get y'all butts up out of here. And Tony had the nerve to call Andy cold hearted. And I was just looking like, dude, you have a whole lot of mouth. You can take your little on back about the door. Cause that's you know you ain't gonna be disrespecting me in my house. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. And nope. 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 So of course she asked about Jordan and they asked they're asking Andy questions that she don't answer. So Sabrina and Danny feels like she's withholding information, which of course she is. Of course she is. That's it. Of course she's withholding a lot of information. Then we see Maurice being extra, as always. Maurice being extra, but it seems like he's the only one that's able to have. He has a palate where he can taste all the different flavors in the food in that little apple sauces or whatever that is. They're baby foods that they're giving him, and he's gotten what they said 5 out of 5. So I guess his palate is just he has an awesome palate. He could taste all the different flavors and stuff in food. Since he was the only one that we saw doing it, he the only one that could taste the difference. So of course he was talking about how his throat was all good and stuff, and I'm just like, Maurice, you don't have to do that all the freaking time. You really don't. The next scene we see where Hayden comes home and Tamara meets him at the door, ready to kiss on him and give it up. And Hayden is like, he basically like, back up off me, man, back up off me. And she was like, so I can't greet my man, be happy to see my man or whatever. And so she felt something in her mouth and she pulls it out and said, not gray pubic hair in my mouth. And he asking her, and she was like, where did this come from? Where your mouth been? What you been putting your mouth on? And he was like, not he asked Mary has she been sucking some geriatric peen in his house. And she said, he told her, you can start questioning me about my whereabouts when you let me see what's on your phone. Because he was talking about how she had been acting funny and protective of the phone for like a while now. So now she feel like, he got Miss Marie gray hair from her cooter in her mouth because he done kissed her. So now it is what it is, baby. Then we go to where Zach makes a speech about how their relationships are not conventional and they're having two parties at the same time, which means they're having a baby party and a gender reveal at the same time. And so he shows that the baby that he's having with Karen, because she's having two babies, one by Aaron, one by Zach. And he says that the baby that she's having with him is a girl. And then after that, Aaron makes a speech And then he tells her that the baby that he's having with her is a girl. So she's having two girls. She's having two girls. Pain in the ISIS, but she's having two of them. So Karen thanks everyone for what they've done so far. She asks Sabrina and Danny to be the godmothers of her babies. Of course, she told to Andy how much she loves her and how much she appreciates her. Then she tells Fatima she sees how she treats Michael and how she pushes Zach to be a better person. And she knows she will be a major impact on her kid's life. And she appreciated everything that she has helped do thus far. But I say big ups to Karen this episode. She did her big one this episode, for real. Like I said, this didn't all transpire until Aaron got up in the ass. Once Aaron got in the ass, she got some act right. Gotta give it to her. Once he got in the ass, she got some act right. Because before then, that help ain't had no act right. So Fatima thanks Karen for the invitation and the kind words. And her and Fatima are trying to figure out what's wrong with Andy because they can tell something is wrong with her. And Andy comes through and she's like, okay, she had to leave. And right as she's about to leave, Gary shows up. Who shows up? Gary. Looking like he was looking. He shows up. They ask, what are you doing here? And he was like, what am I doing here? This is my penthouse. Technically, it's Andy's penthouse. You bought it and gave it to her. So it's not yours. And so everybody's sitting there like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Why are you here? So everybody's sitting there trying to figure out why the heck is Gary here. So Gary states that he just came to invite them to his wedding. But Fatima said, what dumb bitch would marry you? Man, I hollered. Because you sit there talking about Andy and don't you realize you're talking about Andy. And he was like, what dumb bitch would agree to marry you? So Gary was like, let me introduce you to my fiance, Miss Andrea Barnes. Baby, everybody looking stupid and dumbfounded and dumbfaced. And Andy looking stupid as she could look because she was sitting there trying to tell him, let's not do this. Let's not do this. Gary, don't do this. Gary, don't do this. I don't know what in the world made her think she was going to sit there and stop that man from doing everything. Anything. She know Gary is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She knew this. She knew that when she got with him. She know it even more so now. Gary is a nutcase. He's a nutcase. He's a nutcase. He's a nutcase. And she the one that had been sprung on that doggone ping for the past 3, 4, 5 seasons. And she still ain't learning. And the man done damn near killed her on several occasions. And she still hadn't learned the damn thing. Because she's still there. She's still running in behind this crazy behind man. But hey, who am I? These just me and my thoughts. That's making me think the Andy just straight up stupid. But I digress. I wish Andy nothing but the best, and I hope things work out for her in the future. We'll be back on next week to see what happens on the next episode. So please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think. And I appreciate you all for stopping through. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.